obstacle. Let's start over one more time. No. Hey there, I'm Elise and welcome back to my channel. So today let's go over a topic that I've covered in a few of my past videos, apartment hunting. In those previous videos, I went over some of the living options that you have here in Korea and also some of the obstacles you may face if you're a foreigner apartment hunting in Korea. I'll leave some links to those videos in the description box down below. But today what I want to go over is actual steps that you can take to get yourself a place to live here in Korea. But before I get into it, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram and Twitter for more advice, stories, and peeks into my real life in Korea. Alright, so today what I have for you are 3 options that you can use to go about getting yourself an apartment in Korea. Because things like Facebook, Craigslist, and Airbnb are not really official and can end up being like kind of an illegal situation, I'm not going to go into those. But I will give you some legal options in order of least work on your part to most. Your first option is to find a finder's agent. In my previous video, I talked about what a finder's agent does in detail. But this time let me tell you where you find the finder's agent. How do you find the finder's agent? I found my agent on a website called Seoul Homes Korea. So what you're going to do there is choose the area that you like and see the listings that are available. After you've found some listings that fit your preferences in terms of area, budget, options, you're gonna contact the agent who posted that listing and tell them what you're looking for. From there, the finder's agent will do all the work. You just follow them around on the viewing day and then choose a place you like and sign the contract. So that takes care of option 1. If that sounded easy to you, that's because it is. As long as you keep your expectations in check and know the process and the fees that you'll have to pay, there's really no reason to feel nervous about doing this option. I really recommend this for people who are like completely new to Korea, can't speak any Korean. Oftentimes these agents speak English, so I would recommend finding one of these agents. Alright, so now let's get into option 2, and for this one you're gonna have to level up. The next option for you is to use a website or an apartment hunting app. There are several apps and websites out there, but the most famous 3 that I know of are Zigbang, Tabang, and Peter Pan. For me, I prefer using Zigbang, but I use the website version and not the phone app version. They're essentially the same, but for me the website version is more comfortable, so let me tell you how to use that. So unfortunately there's no English version of this app or any of the apps that I know of, but you really just need to know a few things to get through the search filters, and then you'll be good to go. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to want to do is type in the area that you're going to live in. If you're not really sure where you're going to live or you're just trying to get a sense of what's out there, I would just type in something random, Gangnam, Hongdae, anything like that. So once you've hit enter, you'll be shown a map of the area you selected, and also on the side you'll be shown every available listing in that area. I don't think that you'll be interested in every listing or that they'll all be accessible to you, so you'll need to narrow it down by the filters. So the first filter you're going to look at, or the first one that you're going to see, is 보증금, and this means security deposit. So you need to set your lowest possible deposit to the highest. If you don't set this and just look at the listings as they are, you're going to be shown very, very expensive listings, properties, whatever. Again, you should watch my previous videos to find out why that is, but they're going to be as high as like $20,000, $30,000, so set your security deposit to what you can afford. The next thing next to that is the rent money. So you're going to set your minimum rent and your maximum rent. That's usually where I stop. But if you're more particular about what you want, you can choose to have a 1 room, a divided 1 room, 2 rooms, 3 rooms, blah 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 blah. But for this you're going to need to know how to read. So if you don't know how to read, you can either go learn to read, or you can just stop at the security deposit and the rent money. It's going to be easy enough to continue. Alright, so once you put in the filters, you'll be shown the listings that match the filters that you put in. So you just pick what you want and it'll pop up in a new screen. And you can look at the photos, you can see what options are available, and you can see more clearly on the map where you're looking at this place being. Let me talk for a second more about what I mean by options. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know what this is called in English. Maybe it's also called options, but I've only lived in an apartment in the US once and I didn't really pay attention to what the listing said. Of course there's options inside. But in Korea, it's no, not always. So the options that you need to be looking for, in my opinion, are air conditioning, heating, what else? Refrigerator, washing machine, gas or electric stove. Some places don't have a stove in them. Some places may not have a kitchen sink. I don't know how this is possible, but sometimes they don't have it. So you can check in the options section to see what kind of things that they've said are options. Sometimes they don't actually write the options even though they are available, but you can usually tell from the pictures what's there and what's not. I'm just advising you to pay close attention because they're not all the same and they don't all offer the same things, even though it seems like common sense or like common practice to offer those things. Make sure you're looking. So let's say that you found a listing that you're into and you're ready to contact the agent, the realty agent, not the finder's agent. Just scroll up to the top of the listing and you'll see the box for the realtor who listed this place. If you click on the first button, it'll show you their phone number and maybe their Kakao ID, a description of their agency, blah blah blah. You really just need the phone number. Sometimes in the listing you can get their Kakao information, and that might be a little bit less nerve-wracking for you to just send them some text messages. Also in this description you can see if they offer language services. Some of them offer English, Chinese, Japanese, and obviously Korean. But even if they don't say that they offer this, don't worry too much. I think a lot of them are starting to become equipped to handle foreigners. So if they don't offer language services regularly, they can find somebody who does, or they have some forms that you can read. So don't be deterred from the places that don't say that they have English services. So let's say that you found a place that you like, but you're not ready to contact the agent because you still want to see what else the website has. You can save the listing that you found as long as you make an account on the website. To save it, you just need to click that heart and then it goes into your favorites. You can access your favorites later at any time, but you should be aware these listings are not going to be available to you forever. I mean, obviously. So you'll sometimes be scrolling through your listings and see that there's a place that's gone. So you'll just have to, keep track of what's available in your save list and keep it updated as you please. So the last thing that I want to talk about Zigbang specifically, I'm not really sure about Tabang or the other apps, sorry, is that you don't have to look at only one-room or two-room apartments. You can look at office towels. If you don't know what an office towel is, again, check my previous video, but it's another option instead of living in these one-room apartments. You'll be in a high-rise, you'll be in a more metropolitan area, a more transportation accessible area. So don't think that this is all there is. If you click on the other options in the website, you'll be shown different types of buildings. In my opinion, office towels are not super easy to find on Zigbang. I mean, the option is easy to find on the website, but they're not super available. I think that if you're looking for an office towel, you might want to follow through with option 3. So let me explain what that is. So option 3 is the most simple sounding thing, although it's probably the most complicated if you're not a fluent Korean speaker. That is to just walk in. You don't need appointments to visit realty offices, and you can find them literally on every corner of every street. They're like I don't know, candy stores? Candy stores. What is something that is available everywhere? They're like convenience stores. There you go. But once you walk in, it's the same basic process. You tell them how much you can pay for security deposit, how much you can pay for your rent, and then they'll show you what you have and you just pick something. You don't have to pick anything from any particular realty office, so you can visit several in the area that you like. Personally, for this option, I think that your Korean needs to be good. Even I am not entirely sure that I would go about just walking in. I prefer to know what I'm gonna see or know who I'm gonna talk to before I get into it. But if you are adventurous and if you think your Korean is good, or if you have a friend who can go with you, then by all means. So this is actually the option that I think most Koreans use. They just decide that they need to move, or they have an area that they want to live in, and they just walk into some realty agencies and see what's there. I mean, you never really know until the day you go in, even if you did use the apps or the websites. So, I mean, it works. I've seen it happen several times. My friends have found their apartments this way, so I can't knock this option. It's just, it will be more challenging than the previous two. So, prepare your mind. Alright, so really those are the three options, the three main ways that you can go about getting yourself a place to live here in Korea. And I really hope that that sounded simple, because from my perspective, it's really not that hard. When I first came here, I thought like it was going to be so hard. I was so nervous. There were really no places for me to find the explanations, which is why I'm making these videos for you. But it's really not hard. Of course, if you have any more questions on living in Korea or anything else about Korea, if you think I left something out in this video, don't forget to leave a comment down below. Or you can message me on Instagram or Twitter. As always, thanks for watching. Bye! 다음에 봐요.